Hello Twin Flames, thank you for being here, for liking, subscribing and all the amazing comments and feedback you leave me. It means the world, as you know, and if you are new to the channel, welcome, subscribe, join our family because we're here for you every day. So I'm going to be doing a reading for the day as always, but I want to talk a little bit today about the Divine Masculine and what they go through on their journey. And a few of you have been messaging me about this and speaking in the comments. What do the masculines actually feel when they are in separation? How do they feel when they meet the Divine Feminine? How do they feel as they work through their issues that lead to union? So what we're going to do, we're going to bring in some amethyst crystal, and it's a really powerful time to talk about this. We're moving into the full moon. This is a week of clarity. We're in September. And whatever time you're watching this, whether you're watching it now or you're watching it in 2 years' time, if this resonates with your journey, then understand it's for you. Your Divine Masculine, what do they go through? So more than likely, you're a Divine Feminine that seeked out this video, searching for answers, wondering what they go through, trying to understand their point of view. Or you could be a masculine tapped into this to try and understand your journey a little bit better. Let me know in the comments section if you are a masculine watching and how this resonates with you. So take a moment, Divine Feminine, to think about your masculine. Just visualize them standing in front of you, the way they look, the way they smile at you, their eyes, their hair, their clothes. Everything about them, visualize them. And then think about them. Are they a different age group than you? Are you the older one? Are you the younger one? Is there some kind of religious difference between you? Is there some kind of cultural difference? Is there a country in the way right now? Is there something standing in the way or blocking the connection? Well, there's no blocks to union. There's only separation or obstacles that lead to healing, that create balance, that create union. So everything you're going through, even if it feels like a big block, a big gap, a big challenge, it's actually there as a learning curve to heal you and grow you and teach you what you know and what you need to remember as a twin flame. So you're born into this body, both you and your masculine. You're born into this body. And when you're coming down into this body, while you're in the womb, your consciousness understands clearly what's going on, while your physical body forms. And when you're born into the world, you forget things so that you can remember as you grow and learn. So you're put into a household or a situation as a child growing up. And you go through things, and the things you go through and the people you're around, which you have no control over as a child, starts to program the things that you'll need to learn and overcome in your life. These are habits that get instilled within you, belief systems, things connected with society and what your family, your kin and other people say. So you start to take on other people's opinions and other people's fears and other people's belief systems and struggles. So this gets programmed into you along with what you watch on the television, what you see around you in media. Everything that's going on is programming you in some way. That's why television is called television, because it's telling you what the outside world want you to see. So you're being programmed. And as we get older, as we start understanding things more, we start waking up more. And usually the Divine Feminine will be illuminated first. So Divine Feminines are more psychic, more in tune, more spiritually understanding of things, more in touch with the senses, because it's the feminine aspect of yourself. Now, don't get me wrong, we all have feminine and masculine within ourselves, so it doesn't matter what sex you are. Okay, it's just easy when we're talking about feminine to say her or masculine to say him. But you could be 2 men, 2 women. It doesn't make no difference. Your masculine could be a woman. It doesn't make it any difference. It's the energy. So the feminine energy is more psychically aware, more spiritually in tune, more open to love, more open to vulnerability, more open to taking the risk to find this love. So the feminine aspect knows that. The masculine aspect or masculine energy is more set in their ways. They're more understanding of what's going on in the 3D world. So the best way to describe it without complicating it is the feminine is more in touch with the 5D world and the masculine is more in touch with the 3D world. And if you think about your life, you may have been very in tune at one point with your 3D world. Maybe you had addictions or, you went through things that made you learn. And sometimes you learn the hard way. I went through that alcohol and, getting involved in things I really shouldn't have got involved with, going down that 3D path, and it doesn't serve you. And then something will happen that will kind of wake you up, and it'll give you this awakening, this enlightenment experience where you start following a different path. And that usually happens quicker for the divine feminine because you're more in tune with senses, you're more open to understanding, you're more open to the 5D. And the 5D is the fifth dimensional realm, spirits and angels and all the unusual things, the supernatural things that go on. Maybe you've had an interest in that throughout your life. As a child, I certainly did. I was interested in psychic stuff and ghosts and Halloween and all the things that come with it that go bump in the night. Whereas the masculines are more stable. So they're more in tune with what's going on around them. And for a lot of the masculines, they're guided down a certain path by their family or what society says, that they should get married, they should have kids. If they're a different religious background than you, they should be with someone who's the same religion as them, the same culture, in the same country. There's all these things that get kind of drummed into their mind about how their love life or their relationship should be. So all of this is going on behind the scenes. And the masculines go through emotion too. They still feel things too. It's just that they are more tapped in to the masculine side of themselves. A bit like male and female energy. Female energy is more kind and nurturing and loving because it's the mother aspect, and the father energy or the masculine energy, the male energy, it's more let's get this done, let's find a solution, let's do this, let's get the work done. So it's more manly, more masculine, and that's the energies. Again, it doesn't matter what sex you are, that's the energy, just to try and help you to understand it a little bit more without stereotyping anything. So then what happens is the feminine is usually already awakening and understanding, and you may have been through some experiences, perhaps somebody in your family's passed away, or, that's what happened to me. My dad passed away, and, that triggered a big awakening for me. A lot of changes going on at that time. So something could have come in that creates fear. Thank you. They always give me fear as burpee energy. It's been released right up from the solar plexus. So maybe you went through some kind of traumatic event that woke you up. So what happens with the masculines is they may go through these traumatic events, but they repress them. They push all their emotion down because as feminines or as the female aspect of self, we're guided to express. The masculine aspect of self is guided to deny or repress. So express or repress. And this is not guided from heaven. This is what we're guided to do in society. So usually the masculine's spiritual awakening is triggered the moment they come into contact with the divine feminine. And remember, you're not meeting for the first time. You're meeting for the first time in this lifetime. Because you are eternal beings and you've danced in the fields of eternity. So when you come together in this realm, whether it be online, in person, on the phone, it doesn't matter. If you're connecting with that person, it could be that you see them and you haven't actually had physical contact. It's like the earth moves. It's like the earth moves. For some of you, you may not even have had that type of physical connection, but you have this spiritual connection. So again, it doesn't have to be a physical thing. It can also be a spiritual thing. You're meeting on other realms, you just know. And that's for higher, like evolved souls, that you're more advanced in your journey. because you're going through it more on a spiritual level. So you have to have more patience and trust and faith than a couple that come together in the physical. So we're all growing and learning. Nobody's better than anybody else. We're all evolving. Some of our souls are older than other souls. Some are younger. But it doesn't mean that we're not meant to be. If you're coming into contact with your divine masculine or your twin flame in this lifetime, if you're doing the work, union is inevitable. Especially now, because between 2020 and 2024, as I record this video in real time, twin flames all over the world are coming together and all over the cosmos. Because with the changes that are coming in as we're moving into this new golden age, or the age of Aquarius, we need light workers. And twin flames are the ultimate light workers, the OG of light workers. So they come together to heal humanity and to raise the vibration of the planet, to raise the roof, to bring in healing. So that's the mission. So when the masculine comes into contact with the feminine, whether it be physically in the 3D realm or in the 5D realm, energetically, the whole life shifts and changes. And the masculines get awoke. They trigger, okay? They get triggered by the feelings. First of all, it's like the earth moves. And the way that I talk about it and describe it is the way that Jacob in New Moon, I think it's in New Moon or Eclipse, is talking about it in Twilight, about when you imprint on someone. And he talks about how the earth moves. You know, you move, she moves, the earth moves. So when you and your masculine meet, however that may be, the earth moves and things shift and change. So it's not only their perception that shifts and changes, but their body, which starts to go through a DNA activation or a deep cell healing. They go through this emotional cleansing, purification, and they start realizing that their life needs to change. So you open them up to all the things within them that they need to leave behind or move away from to be in a real powerful love connection. In other words, they have to strip away their soul. They have to bear all. They have to be vulnerable. They have to release all the old wounds and the patterns and the belief systems and everything that they've built up. And when you meet, sometimes they could have already built a life with someone. So they may have kids, they may be married. They may be in a situation that they feel that they could never walk away from. Could be a family situation, a job. Maybe they're so established in their world at home that they would never dream of moving anywhere. There's a lot of this stubborn thinking that the masculines have to release themselves from. And when they meet the feminine, the whole world shifts and changes. And they become very vulnerable. And the vulnerability is, to the masculines, they see it as a weakness. Even though it's a strength, they see it as a weakness. So the masculines repress everything. They push everything down. And it's different at the beginning because it's all beautiful and all wonderful and magical. And sometimes the masculines even chase the feminines to pursue this connection because it's so intense. It's unlike anything they've ever felt before. And it drives them crazy. And they have to have that connection. And then it all starts to go well, and then it goes not so well. Because the masculines start to go into fear of loss, fear of abandonment, fear of what does this all mean? They go through fears, and what's a fear? It's a false experience or false evidence, false experience appearing to be real. So their ego that edges the goodness out, the little devil that sits on your shoulder, starts giving them what-if scenarios, fears, doubts, panic, and makes them go over things in the past. And then they start feeling guilty and they start struggling and they start thinking it's all in their head and it's not real. They start thinking that you're going to hurt them, desert them, abandon them. And all these core wounds that are inside of them, that they've had implanted into them, not only through their childhood, but also in past lives and residual karmic things they've been through, they get all brought up to the surface the way when you look into a stream, you're reflected back to yourself. Because you, the divine feminine, is your masculine's mirror and vice versa. So when you see each other or when you connect, however that may be, it's like you're looking in the mirror. And when you look in the mirror, you see yourself and you can't hide from yourself. So the masculine can't hide from themselves when they meet the feminine. And that's why they run. And that's why some of the masculines go into other situations with other people, karmic people, karmic people, they're soul teachers, people who teach them about themselves. The reason they run to those connections is because they are not the masculine's perfect mirror. So they don't feel the same when they're with that person. They don't feel that they have to work on anything. It's easy. So it's easier to be with another person than it is to face their self. And that's the truth. So never take it personally if your masculine runs to someone else or runs back to someone else or hides away in alcohol or something else. It's a distraction from them facing their mirror, their truth, which is you. Why? Because you two are the same soul. And obviously there's a lot of people say different things about this, but the angels show me the same thing over and over. They show me a vision of an apple or an orange, an apple, and it's split down the middle. And that's your soul and your twin soul. So you have half, your masculine has half. And then when you come together, you come home. So your soul comes together as one. Two become one. Two separate hearts, two bodies, one soul. So when you come together the first time or every consecutive time, that's why you feel like you're coming home, because your soul is complete. Now, that doesn't mean that your masculine has to be with you to complete you, because you learn on the journey that you get completed in other ways, because the soul is nurtured in other ways. The soul is nurtured by the connection that you have with your source, with Creator, the divine. That connection fills you up. And that means that another person doesn't need to fill you up. But when you two come together and it's like coming home, you enhance each other's life. So the masculine doesn't complete you. Your masculine enhances you. You don't complete your masculine, you enhance them. So it's about enhancing each other's lives to heal humanity. And it takes a while to grasp that fact, because when we go through the pain and the suffering and the struggle and we're taking things personally because the masculines are lashing out, they're running off, we can't control anything. We take it all to heart and we think that it's not real, and we go through doubt and worry and struggle and pain and all the things we go through. So we don't understand that separation is illusion, because we feel we need that person in our life to complete us, when in spiritual truth we complete ourselves through the lessons we learn. And this is what we learn along the way, and that's called surrender. Surrender, letting go, release. And you may think you're already doing this, but true surrender is when you feel okay whether you're with or without your twin. And that's always the moment that you give it to heaven and heaven takes control, and then the magic happens. Because when you truly surrender, and you're okay anyway, whether you're in union or you're not in union, that's when union happens. And that's when the blessings flow in. So what do the masculines go through along their journey then? Well, they meet the feminine and their world is blown apart. It's unlike anything they've ever experienced, and it creates fear. This is why I'm wearing this blue crystal today, because this is connected with throat chakra. And they're giving me a lot of fear when I'm tuning in with the masculines, because their journey is to overcome fear. Fear of loss, fear of abandonment, fear of vulnerability, fear of opening their heart and being hurt. So the masculines have to overcome all these challenges and belief systems that have been kind of, dragged into them and set into them throughout their lifetime. So they have to heal the throat chakra so they can communicate. They have to heal things in their solar plexus, because that's where the fear is, and that's connected with their intuition. So they have to start trusting more in who they are and what they feel and what they want. And that's why we say, the angels and me say, what you feel is always real. The masculines can't fight the feeling. They can't hide the feelings. They can't run from their feelings and emotions, because it's always inside of them. They could travel halfway around the world, but they still take themselves with them. So they can't run from the love. They can't run. They can try. They can hide. They can block you. They can ghost you. They can cut off all communication, but they always come back. Why? Because you are divine magnets. You're the same soul. So this is why as a divine feminine, you have to have complete faith and trust. If you firmly believe in your heart and you know that this is your divine counterpart, then you have to understand that the souls belong together. Okay, the souls, the two halves of the soul belong together. So obviously you're going to come together, but you have to trust. And as a feminine, we go through so much fear and doubt, thinking it won't happen. What if I never see them again? What if they never wake up? What if I have to do something about it? Because the feminine energy is the nurturing energy, the mother energy, where you want to mother and nurture and make people understand. But that's your job as a spiritual person, because you are an indigo or a leader or a crystal. That means you're here for another reason, a starseed, whoever you are. You're here to lead and guide others, to wake up humanity, not to wake up your twin. It's up to your twin to wake themselves up, because that's a lesson they have to learn. They have to find the solution, because masculine energy is very solution orientated. That's why men try and sort things out or find an answer to things instead of being very compassionate and loving, you see. So it's the masculine energy that means stability, answers, solutions. They have to find it all out themselves. So if you try and wake up your twin, if you try and make them understand, if you try and shake them awake, it's going to backfire, because until they're ready, they won't understand, because they have to learn through their experiences and their awakening and what they go through. So it's like trying to give someone a chunk of gold when they're not ready for it. You might as well give them a lump of coal. They'll only see what they want to see. And they'll think that, you're trying to make something happen. They may call you crazy. They're not ready. So you have to move away from that needing to wake them up, because it doesn't work. I've been there and done that, got the t-shirt and been through the pain. So you have to understand that the best thing to do is give them the space, the time, the room, and for you as a divine feminine to work on your mission, to work on your goals, to be the leader, to wake up humanity, not to wake up your twin. And your twin will wake up because they go through fears and doubts, and everything in their life will fall apart. When they meet the feminine, their life will start to crumble, because the feminine makes them feel complete. Okay, remember, it doesn't complete them but enhances their life. In other words, when the masculines meet the feminine, their life starts going well. Everything starts working out. When they're away from the feminine, they miss the energy of the feminine. So the masculines feel cold and, they haven't got that power. They feel a bit powerless. So say they're in a karmic situation, they're going along, getting on with things. The universe will blast them with synchronicities and signs and pain and struggle and things that start blasting away their situation. So things will start crumbling around them. We call them tower moments. The tower moments will come in to really shift them towards the divine feminine, because all paths lead home. So it doesn't matter what detours they take along the way, they'll always find their way. Just like the feminine sometimes can go into masculine energy and run away too. You're both balancing. Why? Because you're balancing the energy. Because when you come into union, it's a balance of energy. It's a balance of give and take. It's a balance of feminine and masculine, yin and yang. So everything's balanced. So if you find that your energy is shifting and changing, the more you're in this period of separation, or the more you're understanding your journey, it's because you're coming into alignment with each other. So you're both going through the feelings, the emotions, and the feelings of needing a solution. So you're both going through this alignment. And when you're in union, as a twin in union, I speak about this, it's so powerful, because there's no overdoing something. It's all in balance. If you give, you receive. If you receive, you give. It's equal. You feel everything because you're in union, alignment. So really it's in coming into alignment. So union is just the outcome of the journey that you're on. It's not the destination, it's about the journey. And that's why I call it a twin flame journey, because it's a journey you go on. You get your backpack on with all your tools like compassion and understanding and empathy and kindness, and then you're throwing out of your backpack the fears and the doubts and the worries and the anxiety and the negative energy and all the things you have to release. So the masculines is like a snake shedding their skin. They'll shed their skin, or like an onion. You peel the layers of the onion, and the more you peel, the more you cry. So the masculines have to get this energy out until they strip themselves bare and they're ready to face their truth. And when they are ready to face their truth, the angels will show them what to do. Their guides will show them. People will come in to show them, and they will move towards you. So the masculines feel the pain, and they feel it more significantly than the feminines because it's so repressed inside of them. So it feels painful. It hurts them physically. It drains them. This is why when you see your masculine, if they are out in a situation with another, or they may look 20, 30 years older than they are sometimes. You look younger, feminines. They look older because you're operating from your truth and your integrity. You're on mission. So the feminines are always younger. I'm 44. People say I look 20s, early 30s, whatever you feel. You may think I look older, but you look younger because you're operating in the light and you're following your light and your path and you're on a higher vibration. The masculines are in negative energy when they're out of sync with their energy, when they're out of sync with their feminine. So the masculines look drained and tired and run down, and they're not very healthy sometimes because, they're stuck in a situation they feel compelled to be in because of society or their family or whatever it is. And that's why they have to move away from that. So the universe will work for you. The masculines say to you, I am learning my lessons, because they are. They have to learn, and the universe wakes them up. So you don't have to wake them up, divine feminine, because the universe does it for them. You wake them up by being you. There's nobody like you. Nobody compares to you. And along the way, you may get tested and triggered by other people that you feel are more worthy of them, or you may feel that they're better for them than you, or any of these things. You have to work through that because nobody compares to you. So along the way, you work through jealousy, envy, self-worth, struggle. You work through to patience. And what you do is, and I've spoke about this on a video, if you go to the Twin Flame archive playlist, there's a video in there about the 7 deadly sins. We go through all of that. Okay, and you listen to religious thing. This is what you go through: pride, envy, lust, gluttony, all these things. You go through them and you heal them and you change them for the fruit of the Spirit. Compassion, understanding, love, kindness, patience, all the beautiful things. So you heal all the negative traits with positive traits. So you're healing and you're surrendering, you're letting go, and you trust in heaven. That's what the twin flame journey is. So sometimes you think it's easier for the masculines, but it isn't. It's far more easy to be living in the light than to be living in the darkness. And the masculines have to find their light, and the light is you. So the feminine's role here is to keep shining light like the light of the sun, because the sun brings in energy and guides the way, and nothing can survive without the sun. And you get your energy as a feminine through source, from source. You plug into source and it heals you and it guides you. The masculines have to go through illusion and fear and face their demons to move towards the light, but they will always find the light. So you have to trust this. So do the masculines feel the same pain that you do? Yes. Do they express it in the same way as you? No, because they express it differently because of the things they've been through and what society says. So you have to understand that you are a pioneer, divine feminine, on this journey. You are the inspiration, the guiding light, the goddess, the role model to your twin. So you have to keep moving forward. So next time you want to wake up your twin, wake up humanity instead. Do something that's going to guide others, lead others, and start with yourself, because everything starts from within, because happiness is an inside job, and you have the power now to change your emotions, to master your thoughts, because you are that powerful. You are source energy, liquid love, and you are tapped into the divine. Change your perception about this journey and your journey will change, and it will open the doors where there were only walls, and it will lead you to union, and it will lead you to alignment. So start seeing this in a different way. Yes, your masculine hurts, because everybody hurts sometimes, but everybody heals too, and that's the journey. I hope this helps. Have a great day. Sending you so much love, and I'll see you soon.